Welcome back to Studio 5. He has been coaching couples for more than 20 years, but today we dive into a topic that Studio 5's Dr. Matt Townsend says is perhaps the most powerful principle he teaches. It taps into our desire for greater harmony and deeper happiness, which can only be found, Matt believes, when your body, mind, and spirit connect. We are going deep today.
Boom, way deep.
So let's talk about what happens then. What are the benefits when your body, mind, and spirit all align?
Well, so it's like your car being in alignment. And it just makes it run a lot better. Now, you don't have to worry about it at first, because like if your tires are out of balance and you just let that go for a while, it's not a big deal. But eventually it'll start to cause a whole like front end alignment. And then eventually, if you kind of don't work on that, over time it could like mess up your frame of your car. It could do a lot of damage. So a lot of us think, okay, we've got a body, we all know how that's operating, we have a mind, the way we think, but then we also have a spirit. And I found that if we can figure out which one is operating us when, it'll start to tell us why we're feeling, what we're getting out of what we're getting.
And is the hard part identifying what's not in alignment, or is the hard part fixing it?
I think it's actually, I don't think you even need to almost worry about fixing it, as long as you can see where you're coming from. You're either going to end up coming to life from your body, your mind, or your spirit. And so we basically have 4 different areas to look. And when you look at these 4 different things in your life, you'll be able to see if you're orienting from your body, from your mind, or from your spirit. But your body can only give you so much, your mind can only give you so much, and your spirit can give you so much. But most of us are out of alignment because we're trying to get something from the body that only the spirit can bring. Make sense?
Yes.
So, and we can try to get something from the spirit, but the body has to deliver too.
So let's talk about how we can do it, how we can bring all 3 things into harmony.
First thing, check your goals. Okay, the first thing of life is, what are your goals? Your body has different goals than your mind has different goals than your spirit. Your body's goals are to party. Your body's goals are to create chemistry. Your mind's goal is probably to create more advantage for the human being, and your spirit's goal would be to create more learning, more living, more growing. So if your goal in life is to just have forever youth and always look as young as you possibly can, you can look as young as you want to look and still not be in your spirit. So if all of the beauty tips, if everything you're doing still isn't making you feel peace and growing and connected to people, then you're probably in your body, not your spirit.
In your body too much.
That's right.
Yeah.
And sometimes your mind then is comparative, so your mind wants advantage. So you feel good about yourself when you're better than others, or when you're younger than others, or when you're smarter than others, or have more degrees than others, but in the end, that's not going to serve you long term. So just start noticing what is my goal here, and where is it coming from?
And again, you're not saying set a certain goal, you're just saying check the goal. Just see where
you'll notice it. And once you notice it's not quite aligned to my spirit, then just align it, and your spirit will naturally align it. Your spirit wants to be healthy and strong and grow.
Can body goals or mind goals really bring happiness in the end, or does the spirit always need to be connected?
Well, no, but I think part of it is if I'm trying to be healthy for a reason of lifting and helping and serving other people, my spirit will totally be aligned for that.
Got it.
If my body is just wanting to look ripped, like it does, then it'll be good. It's good, but it'll probably fade as something that's going to be lasting.
So pretty much the spirit needs to be
if you
engaged.
want it to really push long term.
A lot of people
and find the peace.
A lot of people will try to make decisions or guide their life based on their mind, or some might argue you should do that by your heart. You say feelings really come into play.
Feelings
there
are a big drive. So you have to start watching and let your feelings be your guide. Notice what you're feeling. Your body, if you think about it, as far as a feeling goes, it will feel exhaustion, it will feel pleasure, it will feel pain. That's basically the feelings it's going to bring to life. Your mind, though, can bring other feelings like guilt and shame and power and opportunity and prestige and all these other things. But your spirit is going to bring just a different feeling of peace. So you can go have your job, be working as hard as you want, and not be at peace. I'm finding out with my own life, as I'm changing my career a little bit around, it's bringing me so much peace. Holy cow. But a lot of it I thought was because I was in my mind trying to keep up with my life.
Right, you're on the treadmill.
That's right.
Yeah.
And once you're on the treadmill, there was no peace. But the minute I kind of got off the treadmill, or part of it got off partly, my spirit kicked in and started leading me again. And all of a sudden passion comes back, so my feelings change. The feelings eventually will bring, the spirit will eventually bring a feeling of peace.
The big question we're setting out to answer then, in an attempt to align these 3 things, is the why. We're setting out to answer the why.
That's right. The why, the body has a different why than the mind has a different why than the spirit. The why for the mind is usually, or the why for the body is usually it wants longevity. It wants fountain of youth. It wants to look good, feel good, be good long term. It's there to keep you going. The goal for the mind is more power, prestige, popularity, position. It wants to have advantages that are really conceptual, not even real. Just, I want to feel like I'm better than others. And the goal of the Spirit is very different. The goal of the Spirit is just to be an asset to others, a service, a tool that can lift others. So when all of a sudden, if I can start to combine my body and my mind, my goals are not about prestige and power, but about serving, and let my spirit start to be that guide, then my body and my mind are kind of unified, and all of a sudden I'll have peace, harmony, heaven forbid.
And this is a unique message, I think, because we're used to you sitting down and saying, listen, here are 5 things you can do to improve your marriage. Here are 3 things you can do to increase the harmony in your home. Really, what you're telling us to do with this topic is just to be aware.
Notice it. Once you start noticing these patterns and become aware of what you're actually doing, what you're becoming, that is the goal in the end. The goal is to become as connected, I believe, spiritually, whatever your spiritual background, if you're religious, whatever you are. In the end, if you believe in you have a spiritual component, your goal is to be as connected to that spiritual part of your life as you can be. And the more connected you are, the more powerful you can be, whether that's nature, whether that's the great spirit of the world, whether that's a God, the more connected we are. That, interestingly, is not usually the goal of a body. Your body doesn't necessarily care what you're becoming spiritually. Your body just wants to be fed, and it wants some sleep, and it wants some loving. Okay, it sounds like a man. And your mind wants other things. Your mind wants advantage again. So if in the end, if you're noticing you're not becoming what you want to become, then you're out of alignment, period. And we can make it more complicated than that, but the reality is when you're aligned and feeling the peace in whatever you do, and by the way, so you could be at a ball game worried about your next activity and getting stressed. That's your mind that's getting stressed. You could actually be in peace watching the activity, knowing that you now will leave and go through traffic and do everything you can to arrive on time and do what you got to do next. But the Spirit can be there. So just start noticing where you're paying the bills, because wherever you're paying the bills, there's going to be a payoff. Yeah. But the payoff will be a body, a mind, or a spirit payoff.
Awesome. Powerful stuff, Matt. Thank you. Did you see I just gave you applause?
Yeah, that was a super good applause.
Well, you know.
That was great.
Applause. And you're going to get more applause coming up here because you have a killer big date night.
This is big. November 15th, 7 p.m., Olympus Junior High. We're going to take these ideas, creating peace, and show people how to do it in their relationships. So how do you go to this how do you find the spirit balance when you're dealing with really difficult people? And this is a great time too, because it's the 15th of November. You bring all of your family. So instead of having these Christmas presents where nobody cares about them necessarily, maybe bring everybody together and let's all agree to invest in being better with each other.
I love it.
Creating peace.
All right, details online, datenightswithmatt.com. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Britt.